I find myself asking this question over and over to people, like, what do you think makes a good coach? Like, I just keep asking people, different people, because it seems like when I first like started coaching in the tunnel and
Mm-hmm.
uh, at iFly or whatever, it seemed to me pretty straightforward. I thought, oh, you just tell people what to do. You just help them learn how to. But then the more you do, it's like, man, there absolutely is such a thing as a good coach and a bad coach. And
Right.
and so then I just started thinking, I was like, how do I be better at, like, it is a skill that you can develop. I think maybe some people are more naturally kind of, maybe they're wired or they think in a certain way that maybe just naturally kind of helps that happen. But it's
Right.
absolutely something that you can improve and get better at and practice and learn how to be better. And so when you said that,
Yeah.
like, I geek out over
But I mean,
coaching, I
if
was
we
like, yes, I do
quantify that,
too.
like, if we quantify it, like, you have to like break it down to another level. Like, it's super easy to be like good coach, bad coach,
Yeah.
right? Like,
But what does that mean?
I can almost just black out the screen or black out like the figures so that it's just silhouettes, and I can tell you if that's an experienced coach or an inexperienced coach just based
Dude.
off of the shadow of like what they're saying, right? And I would say what makes a good coach, um, or the pattern I see with new coaches is that they don't speak in complete sentences, right? And what I mean by that is like they'll say, straighten out your legs, but they don't say, hey, straighten out your legs and that will bring you to me. That's a
Hmm.
full sentence. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid to touch people. Like there's this like stigma on like, oh, I want it to be a hands off experience because I want them to do it. But if you have a good touch, kind of like a massage therapist does, right? You got a good massage therapist. They don't have to tell you to breathe. They do a breath and then you follow it.
Hmm.
You ever been there? Like you're getting massaged and all of a sudden they'll
Yeah.
go, I mean, they won't do it like, like that because that sounds panicky, but they'll be like,
Yeah.
and then you just follow in suit with that. And then they sink their finger another inch and a half into your back, and you're like, oh my God. Like, you know, new coaches have a tendency to miss that part. And then the other thing is tempo. Their tempo is just too fast. It's like, calm down. Just because your student's tempo is moving fast and you feel like you have to get in front of their thought process, don't start talking faster because then you're going to make them talk faster. An example would be, hey, bring your arms like this so that you go backwards, and then they go, "Ah!" Like, the coach should say in a nice, calm, slow manner, hey, this part of your body, bring it this way. And instead they look at the person, they go, hey, bring your arms this way. And then when the person does that, they then turn around, they're like, hey man, relax. And it's, oh,
Yeah.
they did exactly
and
they
the
did
and the coach
exactly
is
what
not
you said.
and the coach is not relaxed, but they're telling their flyer to relax.
Yeah.
And
So
they're all
based off of a reel that I saw today, this is why we're having this conversation. And I thought, what would my three things be? And my three things are always the same. And it's been years of development to zero it down to this, dude. Like balance points, bandwidth, and intention. Those are my three things. If you're
what is
stuck on a skill, let's look at balance point, bandwidth, and intention, right? So let's break this down. Bandwidth being thinking space. Balance point being, can you fly the 8 points of motion? Can you go up, down, left, right, forward and backward, and side to side? And then you could add 8, 9, 10. You could add 10 points of motion being super positioning,
Mhm.
right? So let's say you have somebody that's in a shitty sit fly body position. They're in that typical knees high, ankles forward, head forward,
Arms
arms
back.
back, body position. They're in a balance point, right?
They're
And
doing
if
it.
they're
They're
in
flying.
it, if they're in that balance point, and now there's certain things they won't be able to do in that balance point. They will not be able to take a duck, right?
Right.
Um, but if they can turn 360 left and right and go up and down and and side slide left and right, and they can go forward and backward and they can superposition, that tells me they have bandwidth, which is thinking space. And because they have the thinking space, I want to use that, right? I want to use that for their intention. Their intention is, what is your goal, right? My goal
Yeah.
is to take this hand and high five that dude over there, right? Well, you're going to have to make adjustments in your balance point, because if you bring that arm forward, you're going to fall to your back, right? So because you have the thinking space, you should be able to make these adjustments. And what are those adjustments? And then I get real particular on what I want them to do, right? And I set the expectation. So it's intention, balance point, bandwidth, and expectation. Like, the expectation is that you're looking at me and I'm looking at you and I don't see a buffering well. That means that you can fix whatever it is we're talking about. You just need to know and be mindful of what it is that I want, that we want to accomplish right here. What is our intention,
Yeah.
right? I give you an example about intention. If my intention is to fly with you and go from my belly to my back and then go to a dock, why would I ever take my attention off of you? Why would I ever go internal, look at the wall or look at the net, do my barrel roll, and then try to reestablish where you are, right? If I have the intention to roll to my back and dock on you, I should just be looking at you and probably looking at the dock, all right? Like, as I do it. And this is in a two-way. This isn't in a situation where you need like cross-partner reference or whatever. But even in that case, a cross-reference partner is that's how we stay on level, and that's how we stay in proximity. There's a pilot on board, right? So that's the
Yeah.
intention. The intention is to always pilot the craft. And that's what the challenge nights are that we're doing, we're going to be doing every Tuesday. The first 3 Tuesdays of the month is challenge night. And what is that? Challenge night is like, just come at any skill and I'm going to stress you. There's one thing to be able to do a half barrel roll transition. It's another thing to do a half barrel roll transition at a belly back competition night, right? Where you're under pressure. And I watch it happen where, like, I watch them do 10 minutes of perfect belly back transitions. And then we have a draw, which involves them doing a belly back transition, and they shit the bed. Like they panic. They're trying to go fast and they don't know how to, like, fly under pressure or fly with intention, right? So the first 3 Tuesdays we created challenge night for, like, whatever skill you were last working on. Let's scrutinize it. Let's put it under pressure in a safe environment and see if you can still perform, and then teach you how to perform, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you closing your eyes and then hoping it works and then trying to reestablish? Well, you're going to be slow as shit and probably dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Hey,
something that they can learn super quick. I was at Nationals and I was talking to some cats and they were going from, like, grip 360 grip to totem, right? And I said, what's your intention at the end of the grip 360 grip? And they're like, to be in a totem. I was like, all right, perfect. You're not going up during your 360. Like, you could do a grip, pop, 360, and if you're the one that's going to plant feet, while you're doing your 360, go up 9 inches, 10 inches, a foot, right? So that when you arrive at your heading, your feet are already at the level they need to be to stomp the top of the shoulders, right? And if you're doing it right, you should be able to push straight down with your feet and push that flyer into a head down position if you need to, as opposed to, I haven't made the altitude. I've tried to lift my knees up to get my feet on top of their shoulders, but we're literally at head level, you know? So can you picture this? And then they end up stomping the middle of the back, not the top of the shoulders type thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I was talking to the competitors about this, and I know, without having to get back in the wind with them or ever getting in the wind with them, that the words coming out of my mouth and just being like, hey, this is something you should be aware of. This is something to add to your bandwidth, your thinking space. They instantly fix it. And it's free. It's like, it didn't cost them any money. They heard the words come out of my mouth and they're like, that makes sense. And I know I can do that already. I already have the skills. I already possess the skills to do that. I just didn't realize that that was happening in that time frame.
Yeah, that's weird because, well, not weird. It's actually um, makes sense because what I've noticed about myself, not just skydiving or flying, but all sorts of activities,
Mhm.
when you're really focused on getting better at something, sometimes you're so just like tunnel visioned on the skill or the thing that you're trying to accomplish that you don't see all the other stuff on the periphery that could actually help you as well. And so I think that's also the value of a good coach is
Right.
that they notice those things. And that was in that reel that you brought up earlier that I was talking about. One of the things I said a good coach does is that they identify the things that you're doing wrong that you need to stop
Mhm.
doing, and they also identify the things you're not doing that you need to start doing. And
Right.
sometimes, like when I hear you say that, hey, as you're doing the 360, just start going up, don't wait. Like it sounds so obvious,
Right.
and so like it's just so obvious, like, yeah, why would you not? But for the person who's in it right there, they're so
Right.
focused on getting the 360 perfect that they never think about the other things they could be doing.
And that's the
And so
coach's job. That's
the
our job.
value of the coach, yeah.
Yeah.
So I also want to know, what did you think about the part that I was talking about, the visualization
Yeah, it's
and
great. All right.
attaching
That's
the
I think visualization, I think visualization is the most powerful tool we have. I believe it in my heart. I believe that if you I think you can save yourself some money. But here's the downside. Here's the training scar to visualization, right? I can visualize surfing all day long. I've watched it happen my whole life, right? And I can visualize me being on the board, and I can visualize me beating the top of the wave and being in front of it, you know? And I can visualize me feeling the power of the wave, and I can visualize me bringing my knees to the board and then my feet to the board. I can visualize standing up. I can visualize all that, but I have no kinesthetic body mechanics. I don't have the feel. I don't know what it feels like, right? And I don't know. There's certain things I don't know until I put a good rep on it, right?
Mhm.
So if I visualize in that moment, I'm not 100% convinced that that is proper visualization. I think you need to get some reps. You need to get at least 2 or 3 or 4. You need to get a repeatable rep that you know is going to produce the thing you want it to do, and then start your visualization process, right? So, give you an example. You fly 15 minutes a week, and then you go back to your cubicle, right? And you're trying to learn head down, and you come in for the first 15 minutes and you do kind of shitty, um but it was new and it made you feel good, and then you go home to you go back to work, and then you're at your desk for a week, and then you're visualizing this thing that you barely felt, right? And it was kind of shitty, and then you come back the next week and you do 15 minutes, and to you, it went shitty, but to the coach, you made progress, right? So then you leave feeling bummed out. Like you don't even want to look at the you get back to your cubicle, you just like you put the pictures down. You're like, I don't even want to look at that picture. Whatever skydiving pictures you have up, you like don't even want to look at them. You don't even want to show up the next week. You feel embarrassed, blah 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 blah. But if you ask your coach, hey, how did he do the second session? Be like, man, he did really good. Like it was clicking, you know? And then they come back the third week. They don't want to be there. They're just showing up because they know it's a commitment that they made. Yeah, he did good. And then, but if you ask the student, they're like, "Oh man, because they're trying to they're chasing the dragon, right? They're chasing this feeling, and it's like you haven't put enough reps on it to have a feeling yet. This is just news right now. This is just we're trying to build bandwidth so that you can start to weigh cause and effect in a safe way. Because once you're mindfully weighing cause and effect, you should be able to figure out the balance points ahead down fairly quick, you know? But if you think it's my arm here, my leg there, like that, there's more to it than that, right? Because you might have your arm in you might be in the perfect body position, just super rigid, and it's the wrong body position, right?
Yeah.
So, um,
Well, that reminded me. You made me think of something. I don't know if this is what you're saying or not, but in my mind, it was connected. Like teaching someone head up, right? Sit
mm-hmm,
flying. everybody wants to learn how to sit fly when they first start out, right? Like that's,
Right.
I don't know why that's the thing. But what I found myself telling people like over and over and over is I have to stop. I'm like, wait a minute, stop, get out of the tunnel. Let's talk. Come on, turn the wind off. And I have to tell them like, look, two things. First of all, there is no, well, first I tell them, if your feet are going to stay below you, the only way your feet are going to stay below you is if you keep them below you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they kind of look at me like, huh, what do you mean? I say, look, there is not a position that you can get in for head up flying that will make your feet stay down by themselves. That's not a thing. There's no perfect head up sit flying position where the wind allows you to naturally, easily keep your feet below you. The only way they stay below you is you keep them down. And I'll tell them, I'll be like, let's say that I was super strong and I told you, I will give you $1 million if you can keep your feet below your waist. And I grab your feet and I start picking up your feet and I'm strong enough that I can do it. And I'm like, what are you going to do? And they're like, well, I'm going to just keep my feet below. I'm going to push as you lift up, I'm going to push down and stand up. I'm like, yeah, exactly. And no matter how high I raise your feet, you're just going to keep standing on your feet, just like you're doing right now.
That's right.
And
that's intention.
Because
that's intention. That's
exactly.
intention. My intention is, so that's a big word in my head. I talked to Philip when I was at the races I commentated for the race. I was honored enough to commentate for the race and be around Martin Christensen and Philip and intention was a huge word. Like I learned it. I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, it's bandwidth. Can I think about what I'm doing? And if I can, then what is my intention? Right? If I'm just holding in survival. So now let's talk about balance point. Balance point is survival. The very first body position you learn in any orientation is a survival body position. Something that keeps you off the wall, something that makes it so that you can turn, right? The hardest thing you can learn in a wind tunnel is a second balance point for any body position. And once you learn a second balance point, you instantly have 5 balance points that just, like, it automatically updates.
Okay,
does that make sense?
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Because the survival position,
the difference between a pro and a novice is a pro has 5 to 10 balance points for every body position that they can use at any time, and it might only be for a nanosecond.
Yeah.
You know, I might bring my hands behind my back in a sit fly. I might bring my head forward. I might bring my knees up for a split second. And then I get immediately right back to the body position I need it to be in.
But when you do that, you're doing it with intention to accomplish something specific for a reason.
Exactly.
Dude, that survival, that is a good, that survival,
it's empowerment.
That's a good title for, or naming convention for that first position. Cause you see that with first time flyers in the tunnel all the time when you bring them in on their belly and they're just like, and
survival
they're frozen. And they refuse to move. No matter how much you tell them to put their arms out or raise them or what, it doesn't matter. You tell them to bend their legs. They just can't do it. Like they can't do it. In that moment, they are just like frozen, survival, like just don't let me die.
So what does that tell you? They don't have bandwidth. They don't have thinking space. So what's going to create thinking space, right? So then it's like the formula in my head is so simple. Like if you don't have a thinking pilot on board, then you can't expect anything else to happen. Like body mechanics alone ain't going to do it. It's like body mechanics help us get a repeatable rep that they can visualize, you know? And then you build the bandwidth and then you kind of let them. This is another thing. Like sometimes we feel like we're going to create a training scar. We're going to create a training scar or a bad habit if we let somebody just kind of soak in their shitty survival body position. It's like, I don't care if you're soaking in a shitty body position. I don't believe in right and wrong, right? I don't believe that this is right and that is wrong. The only time I believe right and wrong is if your intention is to dock with somebody or a double dock in a sit fly with somebody, and you're doing it that way, you're wrong. It's never going to work.
Yeah.
Like, like, second you bring anything, the second you bring your upper body forward, you're falling to your back.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Hold on. Go back to what
Yeah.
you were going to say a second ago about. I thought you were going to talk about overcoaching and not letting people just chill for a minute
Yeah,
and
no.
fly.
That is definitely a thing. It's because, like, if you're a coach and you're looking at somebody fly, sometimes the best thing you can do is shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah, dude, leave
Because,
them
like,
alone.
because it, especially if they're doing something different every time.
Why?
Like on this transition from back to sit, they kept their knees so far wide
Yeah.
that, like, it created, like, it wants to go up. It wants to go up while they're trying to get their upper body to go up. So, but their
Yeah.
legs are also following because they're so wide that, like, I'm trying to make this happen, but this is happening. Like, everything is going up. Like the legs, this being my palm,
Yeah.
that should do that, right?
Yeah.
And the second I start breaking it down, like, hey, one, you're not screwed up. Like if your intention is to do this, then
you were
you
going to
have
say
to do this.
if they're doing something different every time, we're
If
talking
they're
about
doing something
overcoaching.
different every time, and we're coaching them and we feel like we have to say something, I'll look at them and I'll be like, yo, do that again. Praying that they do the same exact thing the second time. Because then I can say, hey, man, this part of your body, then we can zero it into an acute, like, goal. Like, this part of your body, I need to build neural pathways to this part of your body. Yeah. So now that I know that part of his body isn't woke up, then I say, hey, all right, cool. Hey, go to your back. Move this part of your body. And it doesn't move. I'm like, all right, cool. Hey, go to your belly. Hey, move this part of your body. And it moves. I'm like, all right, he's got bandwidth for it. He can feel that. Yeah. So then I can start. So that's when you get into the weird shit. Like, why does he have him standing on the net at 60%? Doing this balance drill? It's like, well, because when I have him sit flying, this part of his body isn't woke up. So it's stupid for me. It's stupid for me to smoke this dude's shoulders and squander his time when, like, if he can't get that part or she can't get that part, if they can't get that part, then they're not gonna get it.
Yeah. No, dude.
And that part isn't magic. That part isn't magic. And if you can wake that part of the body up and you build that neural pathway, not only are they going to know how to do it, they're going to instantly know how to do it, and they'll never fuck it up again. And now you have and now we can move forward to the next lesson.
Sometimes what I found here recently, this doesn't always work, but every once in a while, just telling someone to not switch their brain off when they get in there. Like, hey, dude, look, I noticed a minute ago when we were doing this, it's like you just shut down. Like I could see, like, blank stare, and like you're not doing it. Like, dude, when we go back in, don't shut off your brain. Like, relax. Like, you've got to think about what's going on and you be in control. Like, you have to proactively fly. Watch me keep your brain turned on. And I've had that actually, just me telling people, I've tried it like probably 10 or 15 times. And I would say maybe 4 times out of the 15, it's actually made a difference. And I'm like, okay, hey, that's good. I know that I can at least try it, and sometimes it will work.
Yeah.
Just somebody saying, just the recognition, like, oh yeah, I did shut my brain off. Like, oh, okay, like, stop, open up, like, here, be aware, pay attention, like, oh.
And that goes back to bandwidth, right?
Yeah. Like,
they have the bandwidth to know that they're the best part. So there's frustration, and then there's real frustration. Frustration is, I'm not getting it. You know, they're shaking their head when they get out every time, even if they crushed it, and they shake their head no, and you're like, yo, why are you shaking your head? And they're like, I'm just not getting it. And that frustration, I call it the fake frustration. That's like, I don't understand what my coach is saying. It's a real frustration, but it's like, it's also a fake frustration.
It's kind of
the real frustration. The real frustration is when you get somebody that like they're transitioning from, like, their belly over to their back, and their head has come forward, and their legs have gone whoo, like that.
I hate that.
And they're just like, they're fucked, right? Like
what are you doing?
They're on their belly and they push down on their arms, which gets them all screwed up. And then they try to, like, transition, and then they get stuck right here, and it starts to fall, and then their legs go to, like, feed that, and then they go wham, and they hit the net, and then they're
And they just
right,
let their legs flop up as high as they'll go. They're like almost head down.
right, right. Um, what's that?
I don't know.
Right? That is an incomplete sentence. If I tell somebody, "Hey, bend your legs," like, like, so now we're speaking incomplete sentences. Like, there's some things that we can say that are an incomplete sentence, right? Like, man, relax. Everything that you just said, the reason why it worked with the 4 people is because they had a bandwidth enough to complete the sentence. But I believe what you said was an incomplete sentence, right? Where it's, say it again. Say one
Hey,
of the
like
things.
keep your brain switched on. Don't turn off your
All
brain
right,
when we go in
pause.
there.
What does that mean? Right? Keep your brain switched on. Don't do what?
Don't turn off your brain.
Don't turn off your brain. All right, cool. That's half a sentence. What I mean by that is then you fill in that blank.
Yeah.
When you're flying and I'm looking at you and we're on your belly, I see you, dude. When you're on your back, I see you, dude. When you get into your sit, I see you as long as I'm not in there with you. And the second I jump in there with you, I watch this turn into a buffering wheel.
Yeah.
I watch internal thought process
That's
happen.
perfect. That spinning
Right?
wheel of death on a Mac,
And for a new coach, they just don't listen. They don't listen.
Yeah.
Like anybody who's like, well, man, this student just doesn't listen.
They won't do what I
I'm
say.
like, if they're a newer coach, I don't even listen to them. I'm like, are they not listening, or are you not communicating in full sentences? Do they know what you want? Like, are you trying to communicate? Like, are you talking calculus to somebody who's got like bird brain going on right now? Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, let's just break it down to simple addition.
Yeah.
And figure out a path to like, all right, cool. I know your goal is. I know what we talked about prior to. And then we get in there and you're not performing, saying stuff like, "Hey man, you got to relax." Relax is a half a sentence. That's an
Yeah. What does
empty
that even
term.
mean, man?
Relax is like hope or try. They're empty terms, right? It's like, "Hey man, I need you to relax the muscles inside your body." Is a full sentence. I need you to relax your brain a little bit so that you can think more is a full sentence, right? Think more. And what I mean by think more is have intention with your actions, right? If your intention, right? Do you know what works? Another awesome tool that I've been using since the Fall Form dolls, not sponsored, just saying, but the Fall Form dolls, I'll hand them the doll and be like, "What body position do you think I need? What body position are we looking to do? What is our intention? Make this do the body position." Cool. What body position are you in? And that tells you everything you need to know about their understanding. Because if they take that doll and they put it in a perfect body position, like that would work really well. And then you say, "Okay, what are you doing?" And then they put it in exactly what they're doing. Then there is like a path forward, like an immediate. It's almost an instantaneous. Like you almost don't even have to get back in the wind with them.
Dude, I was going to say that's
And
actually,
they'll get better.
then you have an awesome opportunity to say to them right there, like, okay,
Right.
now we're going to take a break. You go sit down over there and spend the next 5 minutes visualizing yourself doing the right thing. I mean, I think that is the perfect opportunity for visualization because they have the reps.
Yep.
They have the reps. They have the understand. I hate that. They have the understanding. They know what they're supposed to do. They're just not doing it. So they can actually fix it with visualization.
That's right. If they know a shadowed visualization, right? Like you're watching their visualization process happen under tutelage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if they're wrong, you can fix it. And they don't go a whole week practicing wrong. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The word bad habit. I hate bad habit. I hate that. How long does it take to make a habit? Do you know what I mean? Like your shitty sit fly body position isn't a bad habit. That's just how everybody would do it.
That's how
That
everybody
it's
starts
not
out.
it's not a bad habit. That's just how everybody does it until they have the bandwidth to not do it that way anymore.
Okay, I've never thought about that. I've never thought that's very good because that goes back to the overcoaching. Because a lot
Right.
of people are like, oh, I'm just afraid they're going to develop a bad habit.
We
Well,
overcoach
hold
because
on a
we
second.
don't want to create a bad habit.
Hold
We
on,
don't
chill
want to
out a
create a
second.
training scar. Yeah.
Like, and think about that. Like seriously,
Yeah.
develop a bad habit. We're talking about 10 minutes of flying,
Right.
and they're doing it for 2 rotations, so 4 minutes. And what? Like
How does a
seriously, come
habit
on.
get formed that quick? A habit don't get formed that quick.
No way. And think about like any other sport, golf or tennis. Let's say you're trying to
Right.
learn tennis and you're trying to get your backhand, right?
Mhm.
Like how many backhands do you have to hit with a coach before you get really good at it? I mean,
Right.
thousands,
Right.
thousands. And a
Right.
lot of those are going to be really crappy form,
Right.
well, okay, like get out of the wind as the coach, let them fly for a second, let them feel it,
Right.
let them make some neural connections.
Right.
And if you see something just like glaringly terrible, obvious that has to be fixed, okay, fix it. But otherwise, if they're just trying to figure it out, they're trying to feel all those different things. And like what you said, they're changing and switching it up all the time. That shows you that they're actually learning. They're actually
Right.
trying, they're experimenting. And as
Right.
long as they're safe, let them go. Let them do
When
it.
when I call it the Rubik's Cube, man. Like if I look at somebody who's changing something every time, I don't even say anything. Because the Rubik's Cube, imagine a Rubik's Cube that had a bunch of lights. Imagine if the colors were lights. Like it was an illuminated cube,
Yeah.
right? And if the color, but in that scenario the colors are changing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that the square that was red is now blue, is now yellow, is now green, is now white, right? Is now orange, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it constantly changes. I can't fix that. Like I need to wait until there's a settlement. Like I need to wait for like 2 or 3 reps where they're doing the same exact thing the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Because now all of the lights have stopped moving on that Rubik's Cube, and it's
Yeah.
a solvable puzzle. And
Yeah.
then I can go. Then now it's just my words and the way I say it that is just gonna fix that Rubik's Cube real quick. Put
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
Hey, turn to the left. Cool. Top row to the right. Whoa, cool. We need to get this part to flow. All right. Do you feel that? Cool. Run it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know. And I think what happens with new coaches is one, in the beginning they are running around um trying to occupy every second with a word,
Yeah.
where sometimes the silence is like give them the space. Just give them some space. How hard would it be to learn how to kickflip as somebody who's up your ass? You know what I mean? It's like, first I'm going to teach you how to ollie. Oh, your ollie looks good. Cool. Can you do a rolling ollie? Yeah, your rolling ollie looks cool. Perfect. Hey man, see this little curb right here? I want you to pop up over this curb. Um, I'm going to go to Panda Express. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Like your goal is to land this. Like video it. Like let's see how many you can land in however long this takes me. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you come back and they're like, dude, I hit it 20 times, it'd be like, perfect. This is how you kickflip. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now do the same exact thing, but slap the board down. Like slap with your toes. Just like slide your foot up just how you would ollie, then slap your foot. And if you do this in this direction, it's going to throw the board. So every time you do it, if the board throws and it's not underneath you, you're pushing out and you're not pushing down or whatever, you
Yeah.
know? And just give them some brackets and then be like, all right, cool. You want anything from Starbucks? Because I'm about to hit that shit, you know? Have them practice it a couple times, not rolling, and then like once they start getting the gist of it, like I don't need to sit there and critique every single one. I sit there and
Yeah.
critique 5 or 10 of them and be like, boom. And then as long as they're
Well,
doing the same thing every time, then it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and what I noticed this about myself quite a while back, like quite a few years ago, and then I've started trying to communicate this to my guys at the tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm the only train. Well, we do have one other trainer, but anyway, I noticed that when I was in the tunnel with the other instructors, and so like instructors that are newer, younger than me that I'm coaching, and I'm helping them, get better. I felt very, very different, like emotionally and mentally, when I was
Mm-hmm.
coaching my other instructors than when I was coaching a paying customer.
Mm.
When I was in there with my instructors, I just felt so relaxed. I
Right.
felt I was just taking my time. I was watching them. I was giving them space. I was letting them practice and feel it out. I would give them feedback and tips as they needed it, but I was very comfortable just letting them kind of progress at their own pace.
Right.
I was there to keep them safe. I was there to make sure that they had the information and the knowledge that they needed to improve, but I also was completely okay with just
Mm.
letting them struggle to get better because I knew that
Right.
that was helping them. But then I
Right.
realized, like, when I was in there with a paying customer, I felt this pressure. I felt this pressure to hurry and to push them along and to try to get them to progress quickly because I felt like that was what they were paying me for.
Hold on. Repeat what you just said because you broke up.
So when I was in there with a paying customer, I felt this pressure to push them along and try to hurry their progression
Yeah.
because I thought that's what they were paying me for. They were
Yeah. That's
paying
real
me so
shit.
that I could really hurry them up and help them progress really, really fast.
Right.
And
Right.
I realized, I was like, why? So I realized that about myself. Those two kind of, it was a different headspace and a different emotional space that I was in with instructors versus paying customers.
Mm-hmm.
But yet when I was working with my instructors, I saw their progression actually moving faster.
Right.
They were actually progressing quicker under that type of tutelage than my
Right.
paying customers, where I was like, what is going on? And I
Right.
realized, like, oh, it's me. I'm pressuring them so hard. I'm not giving
Mm-hmm.
them the freedom and the space to
Yeah.
learn and struggle and get better. So I try to do that. Like, I try to put myself in that headspace when I've got a paying customer at the tunnel. I'm like, okay, how would I act? How would I feel? What would I be like if this was an instructor that didn't have to pay for the time, that didn't have to pay for the coaching, and I could just relax and help them get better? And dude, it makes a huge difference. Like
Can
a
I add
huge,
something to that?
yeah.
And this is gonna hurt a little bit, but it's just I think this is what's happening. It's our ego.
Mm,
It's like we celebrate their if you celebrate their victories as like and it makes you feel like a good coach. And then if they're not getting it or if they're a student that is just like not not somebody who gets stuff right away. I don't even want to say a slow learner. Let's say you have a dude that's 50 and they're not getting it as fast as a 20-year-old. Is that a slow learner or is that a dude that just learned is that just a 50-year-old dude learning at a 50-year-old dude's pace? You know what I mean? Like
hmm
um in my heart if I'm attentive and I'm mindful and we have a goal, I'm the adult in the room. You know what I mean? So the information that gets brought to the room, if I'm just talking too much, I might be adding marbles to their can that don't need to be in there.
hmm
You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
goal is to put one marble in their can and then help their stomach digest it, help their brain digest that one marble. And then before that marble's fully dissolved, I throw another marble in there.
Mm,
So as soon as they get comfortable with this drill, we're adding,
hmm
you know?
Yeah.
So in that case, I would tell the student, hey, if you feel like you're sucking the whole time, it's because as you get better, I'm increasing the lesson. I say that like with burbles. Like, I'm going to give
Yeah.
you a baby burble. But
hmm
like, if you feel like you're just sucking, but you're not hitting the wall and you're staying in the middle and like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
because I've increased the burble. Like I've
That's awesome.
increased the lesson instantly, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. I play this video game, Rocket League. You know what Rocket League is?
Oh, I love Rocket League, son. We should get on.
Are
I
you
suck
serious?
at it. I can't do none of the aerial stuff, but I love it. I
Oh,
think that
okay.
game is so fun. I think the
Oh,
soundtracks are banging.
okay. We
Like,
have to play together then.
yeah, yeah.
But like, do you ever play competitive online?
No, I do that casual, but
Okay.
dude,
Well,
if I was playing with
so
you, I'd get amongst it.
okay. So competitive online. That's pretty much all I do. Every once
Yeah,
in a while, I'll play casual, but competitive. So you start off as unranked, then you go
yeah,
bronze, silver, gold, what
right.
platinum, diamond, what right?
Yeah,
And
I
so
think
what I
I'm gold
realized,
right now.
oh, dude, that's good. I'm gold.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So what I realized one day, I was
Or
like, man,
I
I was
was
like,
like,
I got up to gold, but I'm always struggling to win. Like I always feel like I'm not that good. And then I was
right.
like, oh, well, of course, if I keep playing competitive online, as I rank up, as I get better, they're gonna
The
pair
skill
me with
based
better.
matchmaking is gonna
So
screw you.
I'm
Yeah.
always going to be playing people that are a little bit better than me because that's the way the platform works. So I
Yep.
always feel like I'm not good enough. I was like, oh, of
That
course.
happens to me with Call of Duty. I play
So I
with
have to just,
Andrew.
yeah. So
Sorry.
I just realized what I need to do is just enjoy the game. Like,
Right.
do I like this game or not? Do I like playing Rocket League? Yes. Do I want to get better? Yeah. Okay. Then this is how it works. And that actually makes the game fun. The
Right.
challenge and the struggle to be good is actually part of what I enjoy. So I need to
Mhm.
enjoy that. And that's what I
Right.
was saying in that reel that I don't know that if I said this in that particular reel you saw, but I was talking about, I was answering 3 questions that I got. One of them was, how do I progress faster? And
Right.
so I was saying, I was like, well, first of all, maybe that's the wrong question. I didn't phrase it
Right.
that way, but why do you want to progress faster? Because actual like progressing through all those skills is actually super fun.
Right.
So stop worrying about
It's
going
one of
fast.
those
Just
cliche
enjoy
things.
it.
It's one of those cliche things. It's like stop and
It's
smell the roses.
yeah.
Enjoy the journey. Like
Yeah, the
all of these
journey is the
memes and all
destination,
these
all
things.
that crap.
The journey is the destination. All this stuff isn't bullshit. This is actual facts. Like, so what happened for the longest time is that we had a standard. And like the whole industry had the standard. And we wouldn't let people go for you never really had like this conversation of like coaches sucking or not sucking. Like all of the coaches knew what the hell they were doing at a certain point in life, you know? And at that point it was just like, what flavor do you like? You know? Then it turned into, oh, this guy's got such a high standard, he won't let me do any of the cool shit.
Mm,
And then other people that were newer and didn't know how bad it was to let somebody progress doing it wrong,
mhm,
right? Because
mhm,
eventually they're gonna end up being one of my students that I have to like. I'm special victims unit, right? Like if you've been abused by your coach, come to me. I'll figure it out. Like I'll sort you out. Like in minutes. Like I'll sort you out with a conversation. A lot of the time, you know. Give you an example. Back flying. It took years and years and years and years and years for me to finally hear what the person on the other end of my coaching was saying back to me, right?
what do you
And
mean?
it was this. I heard this statement a lot, dude. They'd get on their back and they'd be like, man, the controls just fell backwards, right?
Yeah,
Because they were upside down. And then I realized it's because we're saying forward. All right. It's because we're saying forward and backwards when we're referring to being on the belly and going towards the head, towards the feet. So now if I'm on my back and you say go forward, which way is that?
yeah,
Is that towards
yeah.
my head or towards my feet? That's why
Who
it feels
knows?
backwards. So now if I just start from the beginning and say, "Hey, I want you to move towards your head." How do you move towards your head on your belly? And they go, "You straighten out your legs." What's another thing you could do? You can bring your arms back. Cool. What's a third thing you could do? You can bring your arms back and bring your legs forward. Cool. If I'm on my back and I want you to drive towards your head, if you're on your back and I want you to drive towards your head, what are you going to do? What could you do with your legs? And then they think about it, and I'm like, "It's the same as belly.
It's the
Move towards
exact
your
same
head."
thing.
They're
It's the
like,
exact
"I
same thing.
straighten out my legs." I'm like, "Yes." Like, just you need to understand that when you're on your back, straighten out your legs can be that, and that's not gonna be what we want. So we want to apply that pressure, and push that whole thing forward, and it will move,
Yeah.
right? And just that one, like I'm telling, I coached for 15 years before I figured that out, and
Okay.
it's helped me so much. But that was
Yeah.
just a matter of listening to what they were saying.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's
and
good.
so now the terms I use is, hey, let's move towards our head, let's move towards our feet.
Yeah.
And I just got rid of forward and backward.
Yeah.
So
That's good. This is something I just kind of realized or figured out like just a few months ago, and I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm gonna whatever what I'm about to tell you that it
yeah,
took me
no,
this
don't be. Yep.
long to figure this out because it
Right.
once I figured it out, it was like that is so obvious. How did I never see this before?
Mm-hmm.
But when you were talking about going forward and backward, and you said, how do you do that? Well, you bring your arms in. Cool. What else? Straighten your legs. Cool. What else? Arms forward. I mean, bring your arms and legs. Okay, cool. How else? There's another way to move forward. What do you do? Just lean. Just
Just
shift.
lean.
All
Just
you have to
shift
do is
weight.
shift your weight. Shift your weight forward and you'll go forward. You don't even have to change your arms or legs. You want to go backwards? Shift your weight backwards. You'll go backwards. Dude,
I do
how
the water bottle. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm like, look at this, look at the air bubble. You know
that
what
is
I mean?
awesome.
I was
How
like,
did it
if I
take
shift
me
the air bubble back here, what direction am I going to travel? You know,
exactly?
if they can't
How did
answer
it
this
take me
question,
that long to figure that out? Not even figure it out, just notice it, just to observe it. And what finally got me, the reason I finally it like connected in my brain is I would have these first time flyers in the tunnel, and usually it's men that are a little bit uh, bulky, you know, not
hmm
fat, but maybe muscular or thick or just kind of big.
hmm
And they would have this constant forward drive, constant, like super strong forward drive. And I would
hmm
tell them to put their arms out, and they'll even put their arms out, and they are still driving forward like crazy. And I'm like, what is going on? But I noticed about all of them, they're arching with their chest, right? They're not
hmm
arching with their hips. You know what I'm talking about. You know the
yeah, I
body
know
position.
exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
And I realized I was like,
It's
finally,
the iFly logo.
it's the I, dude, that's exactly what it is.
It's
But
like,
it finally clicked in my brain. My brain actually finally saw it after 8 years. And I was like,
hmm
oh, it's because their body weight is shifting forward. They're just putting all their weight forward. It doesn't matter how
hmm
straight their arms are. They're going to
right,
keep going forward. It doesn't matter how much they bend their legs. If they're like this, they're going to go forward.
right.
And so I tried it one day with, it wasn't a first time flyer, but it was a return flyer who was like just beginning, trying to get through level one. And he was having a hard time with forward back. And I just told him, I was like, hey, don't worry about your arms and legs. If you want to go forward, just lean forward. If you want to go backwards, just lean backwards. Just think about shifting your weight back to like
hmm
your thighs, you know? And he's like, huh? What do you, I was like, yeah, just try it. Like, don't overthink it. Just do it. Just lean forward, lean backwards. And he's like, okay, dude, he got in, instantly did it, instantly fixed it.
Because you
Didn't move his,
diagnosed the right thing and you gave him a good intention. You gave
yeah,
him a goal. He did it. He had the bandwidth to fucking understand what you were saying, and you fixed him.
yeah.
That
And
is
I
a good
realized that,
coach.
so with a lot of people with angle flying, because everybody wants to angle fly, and they're like, well, I can't control, like, how do I control my pitch? What do I do? You know, I'm like, dude, you're making it too technical. Stop thinking about all this crap. Like, what do I do with my arms? What do I do with my legs? My head? Is it my head? Is it my shoulders? Like, stop. Just shift your weight forward. Just
It might be
shift
your
your weight
brain,
forward.
right?
And anyway, yeah. So
So
it's
get
a
to
little
come in
embarrassing that it
full
took me that
circle.
long.
What? No, all right. So that's another thing that like, um, what is the difference between a good coach and a bad coach? If somebody said that to me, what's the difference between a good coach and a bad coach? I would say that a good coach constantly has these conversations with other coaches.
Mm.
We geek out on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we are embarrassed. Why did it take me 15 years to understand that if I just said, go towards your head, go towards your feet? Oh, I must have sucked for that 15 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, that
Yeah.
ain't the case. It's just like, it doesn't matter when it happens. It happens, and we move forward, and we have another thing, you know? And trust me,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably going to forget it. There's so many times where I'm like, I'll say some shit that I haven't said in 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's,
like, why did I ever stop saying that? That's awesome.
yeah.
You know? Like, why did I
Look,
ever stop saying that? It's awesome. Like, it totally works, you know?
I used to know that. How did I forget?
Yeah. And then I also think tempo's huge.
Mm.
When dudes talk too fast, it fucks up your student. Like, you're just talking too fast. Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, slowing down doesn't mean that you're eating up their time. Like, just slow down what you're saying. Stop
Mm-hmm.
demonstrating 5 times. You're eating up with their time doing that. Like,
Yeah.
like if you realize, like, if you show them if they're like, show me, and you show them a demonstration, and then let's say there's a minute and 10 left on the 2-minute block, right? And you show them this, and it's something that what kind of just came up, something they did in the first 45 seconds triggered you to want to fix this part of the body. And then you get in there and you start trying to explain it to them, and and it's a 1% change that you want in their flying, but they're like, then they start changing like 5 things. It's like, hey, dude, immediately I abandon that. And then I might just jump in and do a soft reset for the rest of the time. Let's go up.
Mm.
Let's come down. Hey, high five me. Hey, smile.
Mhm.
Hey, do a 360. The bullshit stuff,
Yeah.
right? It isn't the bullshit. I'm soft resetting them
Yeah.
because I need to add words. So then we get out. If it's just us in the tunnel and we have the whole block and it's a slow day, I don't even let them finish out the other minute 15. I'll pull them out. I'll be like, yo, pause the time. Get out here. Come
Yeah.
here. Come here. This is what I'm talking about. This
It's
is the
like
part of the body.
you're clearing the cache on their browser.
Yeah.
Like you got to
Yeah.
clear that stuff out. Like chill out, dude.
Clear it
Like
out real quick.
just fly for a second, have fun.
Yeah.
Like feel the wind,
Yep.
relax. Like think.
If it works for PCs, it works for humans. Turn it off and turn it back on. Like try that first. Let's turn it off and turn it back on. You know? And
What?
if you have a student that's doing 15 minutes and they're the only student and there's like nothing in the block after it, like have them turn the tunnel down to 40% and take the student out of the antechamber altogether and just
Yeah.
go chat with them. Be like, "Do you know what I want you to do? Do you know why I want you to do it?"
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This is what you're doing. Let's watch this video real quick. We have 45 seconds of you doing it wrong. Let's watch some of it. You know what I mean? Like, let's watch some of it real quick. Now, this is a luxury that you don't always have.
Yeah.
You don't always have this luxury. Sometimes, like on a Saturday, this isn't a luxury. Like, you know, if they bought a 30-minute block and the block is booked up after it, one, why are you letting your students book full-blown 30-minute blocks? Like full-blown 30-minute block for one student, like then there is no buffer time, right? So you can't do it the way I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you booked it right, then you can. And I don't know, it's powerful. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
What if I was to ask to interview like 50 or 100 of your students, people that you've coached, what do you think they, and if I ask them, hey, why do you like Ray as a coach? What does he do really well as a coach? What do you think they would say?
That is a good question, man. I hide in humor. I want people to feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And I think I do a good job of talking people down off of some elevated ledge.
Mm.
Like it's just calm. Like I'm mellow, right? I get irritated. You know what I mean? Like just like anybody else, but I get irritated more with as the expectation level rises, an earned expectation level, not the preset one that I had because I wanted to feel like a good coach, right? So then
I look cool.
I put a carrot in front of the donkey and made him go that way,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, the switch that I saw, I'm going to get back to your question, but the switch that I saw was that uh, I was trying to hold a standard, but then I was finding that my students were going to the fun coach. And I thought, why am I losing students to like coaches that are going to let them do it shitty? And so then I sat back and I was like, I'm just being too uptight. Like, I need to remember how to have fun with this, you know? So once I kind of figured that out, and now I feel like the industry's kind of come full circle, right? Where it's like you got a bunch of people that fly pretty decent, but they can't tie it together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you'll get this a lot. They'll be like, man, I just feel like I have to start all over. It's like, one, that's impossible. Two, we need to really look at what your expectations are. You know? I had this kid that joined Youth League. I asked him, hey, what do you want to get this year? He goes, I want to get head down. I said, all right, cool. So we have 13 weeks. You get 10 minutes a day. Or you get 10 minutes a session. We have 13 of those. So we're looking at an hour and 20 minutes or whatever that math is, right? 2 hours, whatever the math is.
2 hours and 10 minutes, yeah.
2 hours and 10 minutes. Thank you. I want you to imagine that head down from like net to like transition is probably a 5-hour lesson. We have 2 hours and 10 minutes. You don't know how to sit fly. You don't know how to back fly. And at this time, I didn't know he didn't know how to back fly. I thought he could back fly better than I thought, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when he got in there and he wasn't as far along with the back flying. So it's like, all right, cool. Helping him get a bite-sized expectation, a realistic expectation. So, all right, what's something that we can get now? That's the long-term goal is head down. The short-term goals are build leg awareness. So everything I do with you, kid, is going to be to build your leg awareness. I might have you wiggle your toes. I might just slap you in the leg. I want you to feel that. Like that's our main goal. I don't care what the body position is. Let's not compartmentalize what the body position is. The body is your plane. like that is your vehicle, right? You're the
Yeah.
little guy inside the head controlling this vehicle,
Yeah.
right? If the ailerons aren't working in that vehicle, you're not going to be able to do a snap 360 roll. Like I just made some shit up, but like you're probably not going to be able to do that,
Yeah.
without crashing the plane because you have a broken part of the plane right now.
Yeah.
Part
You're
of the plane ain't
limited.
working.
You're limited in what you can do because your
Right.
vehicle's not working.
Right. When I'm coaching, when I'm training instructors to be better coaches, tempo gets brought up a lot. Like the tempo that they're delivering their message gets brought up a lot. And then the full sentences. So it's tempo and full sentences. Right. And then intention. What is your intention? Like, what do you want them to get? You know? Because I'll sit back and I'll listen to somebody brief and immediately they get like, well, imagine imagine planet X is out there in the outside of the universe, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, just tell
Nobody
him to
said that.
fucking bend his legs. I'm saying like, just tell him to bend his fucking legs. Like, just tell him like what you want him to do. Like, I'm the worst with analogies and metaphors, bro. Like I could tie anything into flying, right? But like,
So think
there's
about
a time
tightening
and a
your.
place to not be so high with them, bro. I know you get drug tested. Like, why do you sound so high right now? Like, you sound like you took a bong rip and then you were like, hey, man, like, so what you got to do is feel it. You know what I mean? Shaw. Like, no, I don't know what you mean. Like,
Straighten your legs.
yeah, but what will that do? Like, yeah, anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was a fun conversation.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get off, but one more thing. One way that I think I've seen myself grow as a coach over the past couple years, and I'm still trying to figure out the balance, is being honest with my flyers. When they're not doing a good job,
Right.
tell them. Like I felt like for so often that I always had to be positive. Are you still there? All right.
Yeah.
I felt like I always had to be positive and, oh, you're doing great. You're doing great. When actually they're sucking it up. Like I don't have to be mean about it, but honest feedback is the only way they're going to get better.
Right.
And so I've started being much more direct and honest and straightforward with my flyers. And like, look, I've told, we've been working on this for a long time or whatever. You're still doing, or whatever. It's like, hey, no, that was not good because you're still doing this or whatever it is, but just honestly
But I'm
telling
watching
them.
you walk into a tree over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like walking into the tree, and I'll do this example. I'll just be walking into the wall. I'll walk into the wall over and over and over again while I'm saying what I'm saying to you right now. I'll be like, this is what you're doing. And you're looking at me and I'm saying, hey, dude, just don't hit that wall. Like, this is how you don't hit that wall. And you're going, and you're shaking your head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Your screensaver mode. This is your screensaver mode.
Yep.
It's not a buffering wheel, but like you're tricking me. You're like, okay. And then you keep hitting the wall. And I'm like, you got to understand that that's super frustrating for me. And I think it's really important to be as like honest as possible with your students. I did the exact opposite that you did. I thought that a coach could never be positive. And so it was like, you're my coach. You're not paying me to celebrate. You're paying me to get you better. And Craig, and I said this on a podcast one other time, Craig Girard, this was years ago. Craig Girard pulled me aside, dude. Like, he had excellent leadership. Because at that time, I was something at that time. You know what I mean? Not much now, but I was more then, right? And at the peak of my ego and at the peak of my coaching, and Craig Girard was like, "Hey, do you like this? Do you like
Oh,
coaching?" And I said,
oh
"I
man.
love it." I said, "I love it." He was like, "What do you love about it?" And I was like, "I just love teaching people new shit." And he was like, "Cool. With all due respect, you don't look like that."
Mm,
These aren't his exact words. This is what I heard.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, "You don't look like it." And I was like, "Huh?" Like, kind of like, "What, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like, like, what are you talking about?"
You
And
don't
he was
know
like,
me.
he goes, "Man, you can smile some. You can give them encouragement." And I was like, "But they're paying me to be their coach. They're not paying me to be their friend." That's how I felt, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it worked for probably 75% of my students that actually really appreciated the fact that I wasn't squandering their time, you
Yeah.
know? And I
Hmm.
wasn't trying to be their friend. And I was like, "Yo, dude, that sucked. Like, that sucked because blah, 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 blah." But from the outsider, like Craig, to look in on what I was doing and not understanding, like, like he was 100% right, though. He said
Hmm.
one thing to me. He goes, "Some of these people have saved up their whole year to come spend this week with you. They're on vacation." He was like, "Maybe you should be on vacation with them." What I heard there is stop facilitating and start and start being it with them,
Mm.
right? Like, I
Hmm.
want to experience this session with you. And what happens when you do that is suddenly when you look out there and you see Rafa watching you coach, it doesn't affect you because you don't see Rafa watching you coach because you're in the present with your student. And that's what a good coach will do. They'll be
Hmm.
able to ignore that voice that's happening, like, "Oh shit, these people are going to think I suck.
Hmm.
I got to get this dude to do something cool or else I
Hmm.
suck." And it's like,
Yeah.
"No, man, like your only job is to spoon feed that guy baby food until he can eat steak.
Hmm.
That's your job right now.
Yeah.
You're the first coach. You're the coach that gets them from 0 to 60. Nothing you're saying right now is going to screw this student up when they're ready for a Rafa style coach. You know?
Yeah.
And what you want to do is make sure that you're in line in alignment so that when they get to a Rafa or they get to a Mike Sopko type who really gets acute with the training, right? And we have specific goals. I want to get
Hmm.
better at I want to get better at flying angles with a group.
Hmm.
That's going to look different, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be hours of like super low speed flying or not even flying, just balance points, right? Accompanied with skydives. It isn't just 20-hour block of time that you're going to do and get better. It's like you're going to do 15 minutes and then you're going to do 3 skydives. And then we're going to do 15 minutes and you're going to do 3 skydives. And you're doing both of them together, then you're going to get great. You're going to get fucking awesome at it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, um yeah, we could
Awesome.
talk all day, but I
Yeah, dude, this is
appreciate you,
super good.
brother.
Yeah,
I
me
hope this
too.
is good stuff for you.
It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I'm when you said that you're geeking out on coaching, I'm like, yes, let's
Speaking
talk.
out.